back to Good Vibras. It's your host, Brielle Figueroa. I hope you guys are doing well and having an amazing week so far. I know it's been quite a bit since I recorded an episode. I think we're going on 3 weeks, and I do apologize for that. I didn't disappear. Life's just been crazy, and I figured I would do Keepin a Real podcast episode. I felt impressed to record it, so here we are. It's not gonna be a long episode, but I just wanted to throw in updates and just keep it real with you guys about some things that have been going on and why an episode hasn't been posted. You guys are so sweet. I have gotten quite a few DMs asking, is everything good? You haven't posted much. When is the new episode? And it makes me feel good because I love that you guys look forward to these episodes, and just I appreciate you guys just checking in on me in general. It really means a lot. And I have been doing well for the most part. Life's been a little crazy, but that's just how life is. But the reason why I haven't put out an episode is just because life's gotten pretty busy. I'm super exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally. Just a lot of different things going on. Nothing crazy, just normal things of life. I know for me personally, when I'm always on the go, I don't take time to process certain things that I might be going through. I'm just all right, whatever, gotta push through, gotta keep going. And then it catches up to me. and I need to slow down. I really do need to slow down. And, I've mentioned previously how occasionally, I do have flare-ups because of my lupus. Sorry, I have, the allergies here in Florida are, insane. I have a runny nose, my throat is fine, but, the other day it was scratchy. I don't know. And apparently, according to the Floridians, there's this thing called red tide, and apparently that's why everyone's getting allergies, and I live by the water, so it has something to do with the algae. I don't know, I gotta look into it. But anyway, so if I sound a little weird, that is why. So yeah, with stress of work and my personal life and just different things I'm going through, it does add stress to my body, and I've been getting little flare-ups here and there, and it's frustrating. So basically, I might sound all over the place, but this is just a real raw, unedited me just blabbing away, giving updates. I am at my favorite spot here where I live in Florida, overlooking the water, and this is where I come always to kind of just disconnect and just kind of refocus, refoundation myself, just kind of get back on track. And like I said before, I felt impressed to just give an update because I have been getting asked, what's new, when's a new episode coming up. So basically, life, I think every day you're always going to learn something new, and that's what I'm doing every day. I'm always learning something new about myself, about others, and just what I want in life. And the one thing that I've been struggling with is, my whole lupus diagnosis. I truly enjoy, the outdoors, and, I picked up fitness last year, and I really enjoyed it, and it became, my outlet. And it's been very tough lately because, I can't do things that I normally was able to do before I got sick, and that is really frustrating. For those of you who know me well, you know that I can be very stubborn, and I like to push myself. I sometimes exhaust myself. I'm just no, I gotta do it, I can do it, and then I push myself, and then I suffer the consequences. I'll be in pain or whatever the case is. So in this situation, fitness being, the fact that I can't work out like I normally could, and, I can't run and do certain things because my joints and everything is still sensitive. It's still healing, and truthfully, I don't know when it'll get better. It's a day-to-day thing. So, that's been very frustrating for me because I almost feel stuck. It's things that I normally could do, I can't do, and it's very frustrating. The best way to kind of have you guys understand is, like, think of something that you love doing, and then all of a sudden, like, you can't do it, or it's taken away from you, whatever it is, and it's really frustrating. And, I try my best to stay positive, and, that's good. You should do that, but it's also okay to just kind of, like, let it out and just cry. And I always encourage that, because I'm still working on this. I always think, like, I have to be tough and toughen everything out. And then there comes the moment where I'm just sitting, and then I explode and I break down, and I'm still working on that, and just learning how to, like, it's okay to feel, it's okay to cry, it's okay to be frustrated, and then, just come up with a solution. So that's kind of been what I've been going through, just kind of, like, frustrated with my health. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what are my triggers that cause a flare up? How can I modify my workout so I could still achieve the goals, my fitness goals that I want to achieve, and all of that. And it's tough, I'm still trying to figure it out, but I have to pace myself. Yesterday I went for a run for the first time in a while, and it felt so good, you guys. Like, I felt really strong. Like, I felt good. I was running, and it felt so nice. Like, I just felt so free, just clear my mind. And then this morning I wake up and my feet are in pain, my wrists are inflamed, and my fingers, which I don't know how that correlates with the running. I think that might just be because of the weather. I don't know. But my feet are definitely hurting. And I woke up and I was really sad. I really was. I was like, oh, man, like, I guess it's too soon. Like, it was just frustrating. Oh, and if you guys hear that, that is not thunder. That is a dumpster truck dumping the garbage out. It was frustrating. And I was like, man, God, I was like, when is this going to end? And it just started, really. I mean, this is going to be a lifelong journey. So that was frustrating. But, I'm trying to just be easy on myself. I'm very hard on myself, and I need to, like, chill and just be kinder and gentle with myself, and just, sit down and just try to figure out what will work best for me, what foods to avoid, all that stuff that I've explained before my lupus episode. It's a lifelong journey. So, but overall, I've been feeling the lupus has been okay. I feel it every day, but, like, I've learned how to, like, deal with the pain, but the pain has not been as severe. Like, oh my goodness, giving me a heart attack. The pain has not been as severe as it was back in March. And I do believe that's because of the medication. It is keeping me somewhat stable. But I'm going for a checkup in July just to see, like, how I'm doing with the medication regimen they have me on, and, check out what my inflammatory levels are and all that stuff. So I'm excited for that, because I want to see if, things are okay with, like, my organs and just all of that. So I'm excited to go to that appointment in July. Besides my health, personal life, living alone, or, well, I live with my best friend, my roommate, but living, for the most part, we have opposite schedules. We have our own lives. So living alone, it's nice. I do love it. I love my space. I love my quiet time. I just love being independent and doing my own thing. But I won't lie, like, the last week or two, I felt really, I've been feeling a little bit lonely, and I miss my family. I miss my friends. And, when you've lived a certain way for 24 years, then you just pick up and leave, that's a big change. I do not regret it, though. Like, I truly love living in Florida. Like, this has been the best thing to happen to me. But, you have your moments, and I feel like this last 2 weeks, I've been feeling emotional, and I was just feeling a little lonely, and I'm like, I do miss my family. I miss my friends, and, we all stay in touch for the most part, but, everyone has their own lives. We're all busy. We're all grinding. We're all trying to, reach our goals and reach the next level of our lives. So, we can't communicate all the time, but, I see my friends on the social media, or we'll connect, and I'm just so proud of them all. Everyone's really grinding and making such awesome changes and growth in their life. But I truly miss them, and I miss my family, and I just miss hugging my parents. I miss hugging my brother and my friends. It's tough, but I will say, I always see, like, the positive, or I try to always see the positive with things. And, even though I miss my family and my friends back home, I think of just how I still have them in my life, regardless if I'm 2,000 miles south. They're always there for me. I have people always, like, I have a good group of people that are always there for me. And, you know, I'm so grateful for that because, you know, community is key. And, you know, we're supposed to help each other and be there for one another. And like I talked about in a previous episode, you know, it's so important to have a good community and people who support you and love you and just want you to be the best version of yourself. It makes such a difference. Like, if I'm ever feeling down, you know, I know who I can go to just talk and let it out and not feel judged. And it feels so nice because when you bottle that stuff up, you'll explode and you can spiral. And I've been in that situation before. So, you know, missing my family has also been a big thing, and my friends, and I felt a little lonely, and there's times where I'm just like sad. But like I say, you know, I think of the positives. I'm like, okay, like, I have them still there. Even though they're not physically with me, I have them on the phone. I can FaceTime or call or text or whatever it may be. So that's that. And then just work. You know, work can be stressful sometimes. That's just, everyone can relate to that. But, you know, I love my job, and I'm so grateful to be able to continue to work as a nurse and take care of my kids. You know, seeing my kids every day, you know, just their faces lighting up, them running to me and giving me a hug. Like, I live for those moments. Like, that's what makes my job so rewarding. That, and just knowing that they feel comfortable, confident with me, they rely on me, they depend on me. And it's such a nice feeling. Like, I truly love being a pediatric nurse. I cannot see myself in any other unit. Probably, maybe when I go further in my career, possibly the NICU, or maybe into gynecology, because I love women's health too. But I truly love working in peds. It really is such a blessing. Like, these kids they really can just change your whole day. If you're having a bad day, they just make it so much better. So I am grateful for the job I have. And it's crazy because when I first moved down here, you know, I worked somewhere else and it didn't work out, and I wasn't working for a month, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh God, I need a job. And he provided, and I love where I'm at. Like, it's definitely very different. It's not very, but it kind of, yeah, it is a bit different than what I was doing back home. I'm still working with peds and the same type of kids, but it's a completely different setting. And it's been nice because I'm learning so many new things. And it definitely wasn't what I expected. And I do have a great schedule, Monday through Friday, and I have my weekends. And that's nice because those 12-hour night shifts were really catching up to me. So I'm truly grateful for that as well. Oh, and like I said, this would be all over the place. I forgot to mention, the other reason why I didn't have a podcast episode 2 weeks ago was because I went to Puerto Rico. And that was so nice, you guys. I went for Memorial Weekend, and I got to see my parents, my uncle, my aunt, and I got to see my grandpa, who I haven't seen in like 2 years because of COVID and everything. And my grandpa is sick. He does have dementia. And, you know, most of you know the disease, you know, it just progressively gets worse over time. And it's a different speed for each, you know, person that has it. But, since the last time I saw him, he definitely went through a lot of physical changes. He still remembered me though. And that made me feel so good because I was scared to just, like, you know, I knew I had to prepare myself knowing that there was a possibility he wouldn't remember me, but he did. And I was there for 4 days, 3.5, 4 days. And it was truly what I needed. I missed him so much, and I missed my parents, and it was just such a nice trip. So that's why I didn't have a podcast episode that 1 week. And then ever since I got back, like, obviously life's just been happening. But Puerto Rico, y'all need to go visit if you haven't. It's a beautiful island, and I always say it's like my second home. I've gone to Puerto Rico every year since I was actually my mother's stomach. She's like, girl, you've been traveling since you were in my womb. She goes, and even, I think when I was like a few months old, I went to Puerto Rico. And ever since then, like, I literally go every year. So Puerto Rico is like a second home to me. I love it so much. And I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to see my grandpa after all this time. And, you know, he remembered me and just have exchange laughs and just be there with my family. That time was super important to me. And then lastly, because I don't want this to be too long because it's just like updates, but the last thing that I guess I would say that I'm dealing with at the moment, and like I said, this is nothing like severe at all. These are just I just want to keep it real with you guys, because I feel like social media, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're living the life, like, dang, like, I wish. No, like, I mean, yes, Florida's beautiful. I'm grateful for the life I'm living, but please don't be fooled by social media with anyone, because behind the stories and the posts, we're humans and we are going through things every day. I personally don't feel like putting my business out there all the time. Like, if I'm going through things, like, it's not going to be like a Dear Diary, I am crying, like, that's just not me. But that's why I like the podcast too, because I can be more open here, and the podcasts are really, like, therapeutic for me as well. It's like a vent session, and I also wanted to inspire and help others as well. So if you ever want to find out the tea, come to the podcast. But mentally, there's moments where, like I told you guys before, I felt lonely or whatever the case may be. I'm also working on things that I've dealt with in the past. Every day you're going to learn more about yourself, and you're going to, acknowledge the areas you need to work in, things you need to let go of, things that you need to work towards. At least that's what I like to do every day. I'm always like, okay, how can I be better? What do I need to get rid of? How can I reach, this version of Bria that I'm trying to reach? And lately I've been processing a lot of those things. I'll give you guys a preview. Not a preview, but the title of the next podcast, it's going to be about toxic relationships. And this topic is really important to me. And for those of you who know me very well, really my close friends, I have gone through some experiences where, toxicity was the foundation. And it's a topic that I love talking about, because I came from a really low place and now I'm in a much better place. But I really empathize with those who are in toxic situations, because I know what it's like, and it's a really dark place, and it can be really tough to get out of that mindset. So yes, the next episode will be about toxic relationships, and I'm really excited for it, because it's something that's really close to my heart, because, I think that toxic relationships have become so normalized, and it's really sad, and I'm just so sick of it, and like I said, I was guilty of it as well, and I can't wait to share this podcast episode with you guys, because it's gonna be deep, and it's gonna be really real, and I really just hope that you guys can get so much from it, and I hope it inspires those of you who may be in a toxic situation or may be toxic yourself. So stay tuned for that episode, because I'm super excited. But with that being said, it takes time to heal, and it takes time to rewire your brain, right? So every day, that's why it's important for you to constantly feed your mind with, positive things, and, whether it's affirmations, whether it's reading your Bible, whether it's praying or reading self-help books, whatever it is, going to therapy. It's important that you're constantly working on yourself on the daily, because, it's hard to start new habits, and it's hard to break old bad habits. And in order for you to be the best version of yourself, you need to be aware of the areas you need work in, and be honest with yourself, and then make those changes. And it's very challenging. And I think, like, that's something that it's a daily thing, like, I'm constantly working on. But even recently, like, I've realized certain things about myself that I'm like, okay, no, I want to change that, because I don't like that. Like, I know better, and I want to be this type of person. So, and it requires you to be honest with yourself, and it's painful. It is painful to be honest with yourself about certain things that you don't either want to recall, or you just don't want to be reminded of. But that's part of healing, and that's part of growth. And, the episode, originally I wanted to put it out sooner, but I didn't feel it was time to do that. I wanted to make sure I was in the right place to put it out there, and that I had it all outlined how I wanted it to go, because it's a really deep and heavy topic, and it might be a really long episode, but like I said, it's going to be so worth it, and I'm going to be sharing my personal experiences, and I'm really excited to keep it real with you guys, and just, I I hope and pray that it'll inspire you guys as well, because, you know, let's normalize healthy relationships. That is what should be normalized, not this toxic, like, if he doesn't answer you, ghost him for 5 days. If this person does this, do that. Like, it's just disgusting. Like, I think that it is way too normalized, and it's sad, you know? And also, toxic relationships stem from people who don't heal themselves. They just, one relationship to the next relationship, and you just carry all of that into the next relationship. And that is so not fair for people who didn't do anything to you. You know what I mean? It's not, you shouldn't ever want to wish bad on anyone, period, you know? So, well, before I keep going on a rampage on that, stay tuned for that episode, because we will dive into that. But yeah, so every day I'm constantly just like being honest with myself and just identifying the areas I need work in. And some days it's been frustrating because, you know, I'm like, come on, Brie, like, you could do this. Like, it's tough, you know, it's a mindset thing. So that's been also why I've been emotionally drained as well, because I am someone who overthinks, overanalyzes, assumes, and it's not a good thing, you know, and I'm aware of it and I'm actively working on it. And I'm much better than where I was. But, you know, you have your moments, and you just have to be aware of it and just make it a point to correct those things, you know? So that's basically it. There's not really much else that I have to say. This is just like me kind of like dumping my thoughts out there. This is what I've been going through. Like I said, it's nothing crazy at all, just like little things, but I want you guys to like know that like not every day is perfect. There's no such thing as perfection anyway. And I do have my moments where I'm just like, I feel defeated, or I want to cry, or I just don't have the motivation or the energy to want to do certain things, you know? I just feel tired. I want to rest, and I just want time for myself, and I want to like get clarity. And, you know, these podcast episodes, like, I take time. I put like a lot of time into it, and I don't want to just like put out things just because. Like, every episode I record, I do it because I want to, and I'm excited to discuss whatever the topic is. So if I don't put something out there, usually it's because I'm busy or I'm not in the right place to want to put an episode out, you know? And that's okay, because I'm human, and, you know, I can't balance it all and do everything that I would want to do. As much as I would want to, I can't do it all, you know, because then I exhaust myself, and then it's, you know, it can be draining. And the podcast to me is such a blessing, and I want it to continue to be a blessing unto others. So I give it my 110% when I record these episodes, because this podcast is really important to me. So, but I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. And you know, I would really appreciate it if you guys could leave reviews on Apple Podcasts or Spotify with the podcast. It will really help my podcast get out there and reach more people, which I really hope to continue doing. And it's actually pretty cool. I on the app, so I use Anchor to record. On the app, it shows you like, you know, a bunch of different analytics, and one of them is like where the countries that are listening to your podcast. And I have people listening in like Australia, Germany, and I'm like, is this real? But it is. But it's so cool. I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's people all over listening. It's really nice, and it makes me really happy. Like, I want to continue to have this podcast reach people. So yeah, let's set that goal. I'm gonna set that goal. Share the Instagram post if you can, and just put it out there, because I would love to reach more people. And you know, it's a blessing, and I thank God for allowing me to do this, and I just hope that it continues to be a blessing and, you know, a light for other people, because it really has been a big blessing for me, and it just makes me really happy to do record these episodes. So I hope you guys stay strong, continue to be resilient. You know, life will try to knock you down sometimes, but just really try your best to, you know, pick yourself back up, see the blessings, even if things are chaotic. You know, really try to count your blessings always, because it kind of reminds you that what you're going through in the moment is just temporary, because God doesn't want us to be in a state of unhappiness. You know, he always has a reason for what he does, and there's always something good that's going to come out of it. You know, I always say, like, there's seasons for everything, and I always, I truly believe the seasons we go through are meant to bring us closer to who God wants us to be. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. I think I said that like 5 times. And thank you guys for supporting the podcast. And I will catch you guys on the next episode. So stay tuned. And thank you guys for always giving me love and support. It's really appreciated. So take care. Bye, guys.